is no more appropriate place for us to be celebrating the Irish than here at Bowling Green. If you believe my version of history, and I think you should, this is the defining place in the entire history of Irish America. What happened right here, 1762, March 17th, 1762, not noticed all that much when it took place, was a powerful moment in history. That is when the first St. Patrick's Day parade began. The first St. Patrick's Day parade anywhere in the world began as a march on March 17, 1762. Irish soldiers who had been conscripted into the British Army decided to show their pride as Irishmen, and along with Irish colonists, men and women who were in the colonies, they very boldly defied the British and decided to march up and down Lower Broadway, starting right here at Bowling Green. So that's not just the start of the St. Patrick's Day Parade. It is a start of a route towards independence in both America and Ireland. This defiance, the first actual defiance of British rule by an organized group that ever took place in America, happened on March 17, 1762, right here, when Irish soldiers and Irish colonists joined together with other colonists and simply marched up and down Lower Broadway. One of the individuals here that day, Lee, was an Irish immigrant named Hercules Mulligan, who would have just arrived a few years earlier and was 22 years old, evidently have been here. What's important about Hercules Mulligan is that 12 years later, on July 9th, 1776, Hercules Mulligan led the Sons of Liberty down Broadway to Bowling Green when word of independence reached New York City from Philadelphia. And they ripped through the fence in the park here and went into the middle of the park. And they tore down the statue of the British king. And that group was led by Hercules Mulligan.
I'm humbled to be able to introduce to you this afternoon our parade marshal.
As we walk down today and past Trinity Church, we stop to have a look at Alexander Hamilton's grave. Now, 10 paces from Alexander Hamilton's grave is the grave marking of Hercules Mulligan. He's a County Antrim man, born in Coleraine, and was here by the time he was 6 years old. He went to King's College, which we call Columbia today. He was considered a well-educated man because he was invited to join the Revolutionary Committee of Correspondence in 1775. When Hamilton came in here from the West Indies, he lived in Hercules Mulligan's house, and Mulligan tells us in his own narration, Mulligans became active when he was with the Mulligans in the American Revolution. With Mulligan's influence, became a Son of Liberty. Mulligan was chosen to be a member of the Committee of 100 in 1775. I mentioned he was a member of the Revolutionary Committee of Correspondence. Third. In 1777, Hamilton was appointed Washington's aide-de-camp, and he recommended that Mulligan be Washington's confidential correspondent in New York City. In other words, he'd be a spy for Washington in New York. That on Evacuation Day, when the British left the city, Washington started uptown and marched his people down here, reviewed the troops here at Bowling Green, and they went to breakfast with Hamilton and Mulligan down there, right down on Pearl Street. It was 23 Queen Street, now 218 Pearl Street. And Washington formally acknowledged Mulligan's service to the Continental cause.
Shanti Roshin should fast Ni offer Ventiran Offentron and of the hands of Arnabel Legian Marvel Can Bosch Musel Legan Nashkrek We love Nobel Shaliv Hani Navi